Okay, so this is part two of my dream. And you need to watch the first part to really understand the rest of the parts. So, after several 3, 4 years of the same dream over and over, I decided I wanted to, because I knew that I could interrupt my dreams. I knew that I could go into my dreams and, like, if somebody was chasing me, I would turn around and say, I'm just dreaming and you can't hurt me. And it would just poof, be gone. I've done that where I was in a sword fight. Somebody was coming after me with a sword. So I knew that I had the capabilities of, you know, doing, working in my dreams or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you guys call it. If you guys know what it's called, you can leave it in the comments. So I decided I'm going to use my powers, my whatever you want to call it, to find out where this town is. Because I felt like this is the town that I should be at. This is the town that I just desperately needed to find, and that was my home. So I landed, of course, woke up on the corner and went around to the big white house on the corner, went around to the back of the apartment, and did the exact same thing that I always did. Walked in, knock on the door. He would swing the door open. We'd go out to the fire escape, and we would talk and talk and talk, and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And then it was, okay, I got to go. I'll see you later. I said, okay. So, so when I got to this street again, the street again, I said, you know what? I'm going to look at those street signs and see if I can make out what it is, and then I'll remember it. And then I can look it up and see if I can find it that way. Do you know how long I tried to look at that street sign from where I was? I stared at it and stared at it, and it was blurry. I never, ever was able to figure out what that street sign was. And so I went down there, saw my friends at the apartment buildings, came back, tried to look at the street sign again to see what it was. I went to the next street so I could see my friends down there. And I tried to see what that street sign was. I could not tell me. I could not tell what that street sign was. It was blurry. I was like, man. So I walked down to to grandma at the hut. And I walked in and, I asked her, I said, what is your name? And she goes, oh, Valerie, you know what my name is. Do you know she never told me what her name was? And no, I didn't know what her name was. But she was the sweetest old lady. So I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. So I looked across the street at the old man. He was still, he was in his front yard, and he was on this side of the fence this time. And he goes, hi, Valerie. I'm so glad. And everybody, of course, is doing that. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad I got to see you. I'm so glad you came to visit. Everybody is just cheery, 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 cheery. I got to find out where this place is. And so I asked him, I said, hey, he goes, Valerie, I am so glad you're here. And I said, what town is this? And he just laughed. It was Valerie. You know what town this is. And I'm like, no, I don't know what town this is. And I asked him, I said, what's your name? Valerie. He just laughed and laughed and laughed. You know what my name is. I did not know what his name was. I could not. So I went back and I just visited everybody, and I went back down out of town and visited with her, tried to get her to tell me what it was. I even looked across the field to see if I could see what the name of the town was. I never did find out what name of the town was, but I can describe every little detail to you. I could describe to you the houses. I could describe to you which house had picket fences, which ones did not, which ones had a nice big porch, and which ones had a small one, where the driveway was on each house, where the trees. I could tell you which yard had what tree, not the type of tree, because I'm not that good. And, but, and I just, it was just so funny. It was just so funny, funny. And so I thought about drawing it and then like posting it on Facebook, say, hey, does anybody know where this town is? And I don't even know what state it's in. Nobody will tell me. They just sit there and laugh at me and say, Valerie, you know. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. I have some people say, well, do you think that the guy that comes on the balcony with me is maybe Jesus? So let me describe to you what the guy looks like, okay? That I knock on his door, he opens it up, and then we go to the fire escape and chit chat and laugh and stuff. So he is probably about between 5'10" and 6 foot. Now I know you guys are going to say that describes a lot of men, and he was okay, and he was probably, I'd say, medium to thin build. He had a beard and a mustache, but it was very well, nice trimmed and everything. His beard probably went down to right here. It wasn't real long and scraggly, and it wasn't a short one. And he had long hair, and it was cut very nice. It wasn't scraggly. It wasn't, but it wasn't shaped either. It just laid very nice around his face. He had, now his clothes that he wore, I would say they were just plain. They were just plain clothes. I don't, you know what? I don't even think I remember. Look at what time. I know he had jeans on and a t-shirt. And I think I should have paid more attention to what he was wearing. I should have. But I didn't. I should have asked him what his name was. I probably did, and they just laughed at me too, said, oh, Valerie, you know what my name is. No, I don't know what name is. You guys, I tried so hard. And so for the rest of that year, 3 or 4 times, every time for the rest of that year, I'd go to that town. I would go to that same dream. And I'm like, I'm going to find out this time. I'm going to figure out this time what town this is. Nobody would tell me. I just, I would just get so frustrated. Valerie, you know what town this is. No, I don't. Tell me what town this is. Oh, Valerie, you know who I am. No, I don't know who you are. What is your name? Valerie, you know what my name is. Just everybody did that. Even the people at the apartments. I went over there to their house that. And they're all, you know, of course, the same old, same old. Valerie, we're so glad you stopped by. Valerie, it's great to see you. And I'd be like, what are your names? And they wouldn't tell me. And then, what town is this? They wouldn't tell me. Valerie. And it was like, and there would be different ones that come out of their apartments each time, right? And so the ones that came out at that time of the dream, they'd sit there, oh, I mean, how frustrating is that, you guys, where you know that you have the power to try and figure out where the world you are because you want to find this town. You want to go and you want to go visit this town. You might even want to go live at this town because it was home. You know, it was home. I was so excited every time I would land there and wake up and I would see that I was there. I was so excited. I don't even know if I could explain it. It was just, I was home. Have you ever been someplace and it was just so overwhelming to you that you just didn't want to leave? You didn't want to leave. You wanted to stay. And so when you're having that dream, is you want to find out what town that is, even what state it's in. And and when I tell people this dream, they sit there and they go, "Are you sure you've never been there?" Because I could tell you detail for detail, you know? And I was like, "No, I've never been there. I never have." Because if I had, I would be back. And so it's just, so you tell me in comments, have you ever had a dream that was so real you never wanted it to end? You wanted it to go on, that you would go to bed and you'd pray your prayer. And with that, you say, Lord, please let me have that dream again. Please let me have that dream again. And I didn't have it every night. I didn't have it every month. I would only have it like 3 or 4 times a year. But when I had it, it was so overwhelming. It was like so perfect. So that went on for a year. So at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 times, me trying to find out where that town was. Sorry, the phone is bouncing up and down. But and so this is going to be 3 segments. Uh, so it was a few months until I had the next dream. And so I had this dream 3 or 4 times a year over 5 years. So the 5th year, you'll have to watch the next episode to see what happened. And yeah, that's so. Anyway, I hope you do this with me, because I guess I'm hoping somehow that somebody might see this video and they might say, "Hey, that sounds familiar." But anyway, so love yourself, care about yourself, because you are all you got. Leave a comment if you want. Tell me about your dreams. Tell me about your dreams that you wish that you felt were just so real. Okay? Love you. Thanks for watching.